Okay, once you have now you have selected the side and move it aside, and the top and bottom are here. They're both together overlapping. How do I know they're overlapping? Because I go on the viewport and see that both sides are selected, so it's okay. We'll then next scale them. So go on the scale tool, scale them as you need to, and we'll work in the proportions next. So we'll very much come back to this. So we'll do the same for the other two. Let's go to the sphere. The sphere is fairly simple. Sphere, and then create modifier, UV coordinates, unwrap, and then open the UV editor, and we open the window there. So we have the UVs, and they seem okay. The sphere will always, because of the pinching on the top, will always have some kind of distortion there. And then the last one is the box. Okay, so we do the same. Modifiers, UV coordinates, UV map. In this case, we select box, and UV coordinates, again unwrap, and open the UV editor. And this is where things start to get a little bit more interesting, because all the faces are in there, but they are very much overlapping, one on top of the other. If you click here on the on the window, you're going to notice that all the faces are one on top of the other. It will be in the case that all the sides are the same, it's okay, but what you want to do is separate them. Okay, and I'm not sure why it's doing that, but let's just select the faces on the viewport and go around, get the next one, and where is the next one? There. So there you go. You have all the 6 sides laid out. So now we select them, make it a selection, and we want to make them go into that default texture area. And we'll most likely come back to this. Okay, so let's turn the texture off over here so that you don't get a headache next. And let's close that window. So now all of them have the unwrap, and they're ready to be textured next. So that leads to the next stage of this assignment. We will now assign a checker map to test placement on the geometry. Okay. You might raise a question of, do I really need the UVW map? If you use the UV unwrap, it's not necessary to have the UVW map. In some instances that are like on the cylinder, for example, if you put the UV unwrap first, when you put the UV unwrap on top of that, it reads better the UVs, because it kind of gets the placement of the UV map that you create, and then it works better for the unwrap. So after you have that layout, you can always delete it, or you can always leave it there. It's not going to hurt, but it's not really necessary to have the UVW map plus the unwrap. Sometimes they actually compete for attention each other, so you gotta be careful. Use it where you really need it. Okay, which is when you want better placement on the UV unwrap. So let's next add a checker map. So when we come back, we're going to be working on that next stage.